The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited. Excitement is in the air, filling pretty much everywhere here in Grand Bahama, as the sign is now everywhere that Grand Bahama is indeed turning the point. That means the economy about to get better, job opportunities about to be made more available, and life about to get back to what many people call the glory days of Grand Bahama. Good evening, everyone. I'm Clint Watson. Welcome to the special edition of The Rundown, coming to you live from the ballroom of the Grand Lucayan Hotel in Grand Bahama, where today it was filled with people anticipated for the next for this island. Investors ready to sign and get ready to get the Grand Bahama economy lifted and back on track. It's going to be an exciting night tonight. It's been a long day for us here at the Broadcasting Corporation. You've been with us all day, from shortly after noon this afternoon, around 1:30, when we first came on the air to talk about this deal, and then we went to the signing of the deal. And after we witnessed the signing and heard the wonderful speeches, then it was outside to see the demolition begin for the Lanai Suites. Signaling that the contractors and the investors are ready to begin their work. And then it was on to celebrate with a reception. And then across the road, John Canoe took us to the Port Lucayan Village. And that's where we understood that the investment will continue, and they will be a part of the reconstruction efforts and the revitalization as well. We continue tonight's coverage. Of course, reporters have been busy all day on the air, keeping us up to date. The party's still going on at Port Lucayan. I'm told it's winding down now, but there are people there. We're going to go to our Jay Philippe, who's a part of our team coverage tonight, and talk to Jay about who's with him as he is there. Jay Philippe is there. Good evening, Jay, and tell us who you have with you. Okay, while we're getting Jay set up, we're going to tell you what happened earlier today so that you understand how the investment deal was inked, and of course the wonderful remarks that came. Joan Davis Roll has that story to bring you up to speed on what took place earlier today.
It was a grand day on Grand Bahama, as a new chapter was written in this island's history. Holding the golden pen was none other than the Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis. Delayed but not denied, as the historic signing of the heads of agreement signaling the sale of the multi-million-dollar Grand Lucayan Resort was held. Hailed as the visionary and beaming with pride as he rose to the podium and to standing ovation, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis.
I intend to leave behind real results for the people of Grand Bahama. Jobs, infrastructure, healthcare, opportunity, and most of all, dignity. That's what matters. That's what lasts. What a blessing it is to be here with you today, to be able to come together to share triumph rather than tragedy. Every island in our country carries its own story, but Grand Bahama's story is unlike any other. You have faced economic downturns and the strongest storms in nature's arsenal. Yet no matter the force of devastation, when the waters recede, the people of Grand Bahama rise.
Excited and introducing the master plan for this massive redevelopment, which carries a price tag in excess of $300 million, was Concord Wilshire executive Nate Sarang, along with the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie.
I would like to especially thank Honorable Prime Minister Davis, who has put so much time, energy, effort, and heart into this asset. And thank you for trusting our company with this beautiful resort and this opportunity to not only reignite this resort, but to create one of the most unique mixed-use destination resorts in the Bahamas.
Today is another grand day, and this right here is a very, very big deal for the people of Grand Bahama Island.
One of the most stirring messages delivered from this podium today came from a top executive of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Ian Roll, who not only sang the praises of the government, but indeed the Prime Minister.
This deal had the fingerprints of leadership on it. It got special attention from our Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Philip Brave Davis.
The deal has now been sealed, and Grand Bahama ship has finally come in. And in the words of the Prime Minister, all and sundry are welcome to be a part of this new and exciting chapter of this Northern Island. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Joan Davis-Roll.
All right, thanks a lot, Joan, there. And you got a chance to see how it all unfolded before they actually began to sit down and sign. The investors signed, and then, of course, signing on behalf of the government was the Secretary of the Cabinet, Nicole Campbell, and the Director of Investments, Felicia Hannah Woods. And, of course, it was an opportunity for many to stand and witness and recognize that this is actually happening. Deputy Prime Minister signaling money in the bank. No need to worry. This one is definitely going to happen. And as you heard from the various investors and partners involved in the project, and you hear them describe and talk about what they're going to do, what they're going to create, from the partners in the casino to the partners with the golf course to the partners with the second home ownership that will take place here, and to long-term ownership and to the mini resort. You recognize that it indeed is coming together. And also Port Lucayan is expected to be a part of that revitalization, something that vendors are no doubt are excited about. They've been waiting on it for a long time. As a matter of fact, the party is pretty much wrapping up over there now. They had a party over there. Jay Philippe is standing by over there talking to people about what this all means. Jay, good evening.
Clint Watson, it's certainly been a long day. However, this long day has been filled with excitement, entertainment, but more importantly, action. As the government signed the heads-up agreement with the developer in Grand Bahama. And I'm joining with me, Kirk Hordinsworth, who is a resident of Grand Bahama, also known as Coach H. But the Prime Minister mentioned in his remarks, Kirk, that you were the person that introduced the developer to him, which means that you played a very intricate role. Tell us, how did all that happen?
Well, let me first begin by saying thank you to the Prime Minister for giving me an opportunity to serve as one of his consul generals in the Miami area along with 7 other states. Part of my responsibility is that of foreign direct investment. And of course, being a Grand Bahamian, when we first began our conversation, he said to me, "Now, you're from Grand Bahama. I expect for you to find something." And I was like, "You're putting pressure on me, Brian." But you know, I took it very seriously. A couple of friends of mine, associates that I became acquainted with, we began the road of searching for the right fit. And when we came across this super gentleman, Mr. Steve Sarang, and he expressed an interest, we flew into Freeport, took a look at the property, and right away, within about an hour, he said, "I want this." And so we returned back to Florida. I came over about 3 weeks later, met with the Prime Minister here in Freeport, and I said, "I want to introduce you to someone." And I simply said, "I think this is the right fit." I introduced him to Steve Sarang over the phone. Subsequently, we met in Miami, but before that, the Director of Investment met with myself and Steve and his group, and it all began. The Prime Minister came over to Florida. We had a dinner meeting, and today, after 15 months of quietly moving through the storm, I'm elated to be a part of what is considered a historical event for Grand Bahama, with the rebirth of something that we've been looking for a number of years. So I'm very, very happy to be a part of this, and I'm grateful that God has placed me in a position where Grand Bahamians can be proud of our efforts.
Kirk, you also mentioned that it was the right fit. DPM, IHS Cooper mentioned that they did not want a quick fix, but the right fit as well too. At what point did you guys start to negotiate? How long the negotiations before today's agreement and what have been signed?
Well, to be honest with you, Steve knew what he wanted from the time he came onto the property, and he would have shared with myself and the Prime Minister what he wanted to do. He had a vision, and he said, I don't want to come into the Bahamas for 2 days. I want to build a relationship with the community. I want to be here for a long period of time. And all of a sudden, he began identifying individual brands, and he brought the best together. And as was explained today, we have a great opportunity to see Grand Bahama really rise from the ashes, if I can use that term.
I know you're also a sports guy. A part of development is also a major golf course, and that's going to be developed here in Grand Bahama. What does it mean for the sporting opportunities as far as golfers from all around the world being able to come here and compete on a large level?
Oh, absolutely. I love golf myself, and having had the opportunity to sit with Greg Norman myself, along with Steve, and talking about the golf courses and what he has done, because I've seen one of the golf courses right in Holiday in Florida that he did. I'm excited for the golf potential here in Grand Bahama. As you know, Jay, Grand Bahama used to be one of the top destinations for golf. We had about 6 or 7 golf courses here, and I think with the start of this project, we are going to see the renaissance of golf again on this island. Quietly we're trying to see if we can access a couple more of the golf courses here. So great opportunities for us here. And not only in golf, but we got some other things that I'm going to be looking forward to in sports myself.
Also, Kurt Hollingsworth, as far as persons that are tuning in right now, they didn't have a chance to really watch the broadcast all day. What's going to be the very next step for the government as it relates to ensuring that this project comes to fruition?
Jay, I'm not going to answer that question. But I think the government, under the leadership of our Prime Minister, he is very slow to respond, but when he does it right. And I'm kind of like that myself. And, I'm going to continue to work because there's a lot more work to be done in Grand Bahama, a lot more businesses that we are working on to try and bring to Grand Bahama, and the future looks bright.
There you have it, Consul General for Miami, Kirk Hollingsworth, a native of Grand Bahama, served as a former principal and coach, and he talked about, the Prime Minister spoke about Kirk Hollingsworth's involvement with the project. He initially introduced the Prime Minister to the developers, and here today, ladies and gents, we have the official heads of agreement assignment, as it's a brand new day, here on Grand Bahama. We're hoping to see the best. Back to you in studio, Clint.
Thank you, Ajay Philippe, reporting and putting some good questions. I remember when the Prime Minister made that announcement about Kirk Hollingsworth early today. Those are some of the questions I had. I wanted to find out. But it goes to show you that when you are given a diplomatic post, you are there to function and to work, right? You are there to see how best you can advance your country and how best you can find opportunities for your country. This here is huge for the Prime Minister to say that it was his Consul General in Miami who he said, listen, you got to find something for Grand Bahama. He went and found something, and it turned out to be golden. And so if there is any example of a Consul General who has done their job, it's Kirk Hollingsworth, right? Because you're not there to just have a good time, live a life of luxury, live off the government, and don't bring together any ties or connections to advance the country. You are there in a diplomatic post so that you can make the Bahamas better. And at the end of the day, he's from Grand Bahama. What better way to be able to say, I've done my job, than to be able to deliver on an investment that perhaps will turn this economy around or be the catapult to the turnaround with all of the other investments that are going on Grand Bahama. So hats off to him. That's what working in the diplomatic corps ought to produce for your country. Results, opportunity, job enhancement, improved economy, and really a better life for people. I think it's important to say that money is in the bank. I keep saying that because that's what the Deputy Prime Minister has said. People have said, oh, it's a heads of agreement. I see one of our viewers online questioning, well, you know, is it really sold because it's only a signing of a heads of agreement? No, it's not only a signing of a heads of agreement. That's why it's so important to listen and to understand when these deals come forward, because we've been told money is in the bank. The sale has already taken place. This isn't a signing to hopefully let's seal the deal. We were told today by the government that it has taken place. Money's in the bank, and these investors are ready to begin work. You don't begin work if you've not purchased the property. So, you know, let's not begin to put out scenarios or put out stories that are not true. The government says they've already done their due diligence. The investors have come forward with their money. Money's in the bank. They're ready to begin developing their project, which now belongs to them. I think that's important. Let's hear some more from what took place today at the signing today. Cleopatra Murphy was also in the room, and she filed a report also on what took place. Take a look.
The redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan Resort will soon be underway after President of Concord Wilshire, Nate Sarang, unveiled plans for the $827 million investment set to include a 35-acre destination resort, a 350-room branded hotel, and a 120-unit timeshare residential resort during a ceremony for the signing of the heads of agreement for what will become the new Grand Lucayan Resort and Village Thursday.
We collaborate and we design and build with the cities and the communities around our projects. And that's exactly why the Grand Lucayan was such a perfect fit for us. We're committed to being here besides you as your neighbors and partners to bring back tourism, jobs, and a strong economy to Freeport. But most importantly, to bring a lot of your Grand Bahamians back home.
It is a 7-cylinder project inclusive of a golf course, casino, and other features. Minister of Tourism, Investments, and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, says the sale sets the foundation for long-term economic growth for Grand Bahama, adamant that with Concord Wilshire, government has struck the right deal.
A redeveloped Grand Lucayan Hotel and the surrounding areas is a key plank in the overall ecosystem of this island. With nearly $1 billion of new investment today, the project is intended to be redeveloped, as you have already seen and heard, as a first-class, world-class, not just a resort, but a world-class destination in and of itself.
It's set to create 1,750 permanent jobs, and Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, says the signing signals renewed hope and better days ahead for Grand Bahama.
The redevelopment of this iconic property will stimulate jobs, create more opportunities for local businesses and entrepreneurs, generate new developments in the hospitality, retail, and real estate sectors, increase heads and beds, and breathe new life into our island.
Grand Bahama Port Authority President Ian Roll also praised the deal, one he says the body is pleased to partner with government on.
What was closed is being reopened. What was lost is being redeemed. This is not just a milestone. It was a marathon. And now we declare that the race was not in vain.
U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Kimberly Furnish says it's a momentous occasion that marks a new beginning for the resort and Grand Bahama.
We are thrilled to witness firsthand the revitalization of Grand Bahama. And we are even more elated to know that a U.S. company and U.S. investment are leading the way in strategic and impactful foreign investments on this island.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
All right, thanks a lot, Cleo. And joining me here at the desk is a man who's been working hard, just as hard as all of us all day, if not harder. He's been carrying the broadcast all day. Anchor here in the north, Mr. Remiko Knowles. I know it's a long day and you can't wait to get home and just be able to unwind and relax. But you have been able to cover so many of these stories about Grand Lucayan, about what was happening, how the people felt about the port and the vendors. And then you've seen the challenge people have had because this property has not been operating at its full capacity. And you've got an opportunity today. How do you feel today as a Grand Bahamian?
As a Grand Bahamian, words cannot describe how I feel. I more so feel it for the people of Grand Bahama. I've never left. Been here 36 years, so I know I've seen the hardship. I've seen the economic struggle. I've seen the highs, the lows, everything that we've experienced in Grand Bahama. Basically, from 2004, that's the earliest that I can remember from the closing of Princess Resorts. After 2004, Hurricane Jane and Francis, and then we went to 2016. This, as a teenager, memories closed. I remember, well, as an adult, I was an adult. Memories closed, and I had friends who worked there. I've seen them struggle to find employment after that. 3 years later, Hurricane Dorian.
Wow.
After that, the COVID-19 pandemic and the economy shutting down. So Grand Bahama has gone through so much. Grand Bahamians have gone through so much. We've been talking about it forever because that's been our story. That's what it's been for us. And many people have gotten tired of saying that we're resilient.
Right,
gotten tired of saying that Grand Bahama is resilient. And naturally, because we don't want to be resilient anymore, we're ready to thrive. We're ready to experience the economic boom that all of the other islands seem to be experiencing. And today, we got a glimpse of what is to come. So we're hopeful. I don't think anyone in Grand Bahama who has experienced what we've been through over the past 2 decades wants to see anything fail.
Right.
With this deal, with this redevelopment, with all of the projects that are on tap for Grand Bahama, Carnival, the shipyard, exquisite yachts, the hospital,
Royal Caribbean,
Royal Caribbean. Nobody wants to see these things fail because the reality of it is, and I speak with the ministers, and I hear things, and I hear one of the things the minister of Grand Bahama said to me is that we have lost so many people in Grand Bahama.
Yeah.
So many people has left. I think she said we went from 60,000 to 40,000 between 2019 to date. So getting these people to come back home, and the reality of it is they want to come home. But now we've heard that we have a reason to come back home. So Grand Bahama, as a Grand Bahamian, I feel proud.
Good stuff. Devontae Hanna has someone with him. He's over in the square as well. Devontae, good evening. Who do you have?
Well, Clint, you know, it's been a pretty exciting day, a long day, but of course it's one that means a whole lot to people in Grand Bahama, but specifically to the people that work in this area. I have found a group of vendors at Port Lukaya. I know that, you know, Port Lukaya has been described as the Grand Lucayan was described as the lifeline for you vendors. You know, what does this moment mean to you, finally seeing that there was a sale or a heads of agreement signing and there's money in the bank? What does this moment mean for you?
It means everything to Grand Bahama and Port Lukaya. As you said, we've been waiting for so long for a move like this. And like I said before, it doesn't matter who government bring it in. We just need it done in Grand Bahama because the spin-off is going to be to Freeport and the Port Lukaya because Port Lukaya is the largest private sector in Grand Bahama, but it's also the tourist destination of Grand Bahama. And so with that in mind, with over 400 to 500 stores up here, the spin-off and the family which will be affected is far beyond. So we welcome this. We have straw vendors for second generation, all of us here, second and third generation. 54 years, 30 years, 40 years, right here and right now. So we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of Port Lukaya. And so right now, we welcome this.
You talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. You know, since 2016, this hotel has been not really closed, but it's not been operating at its full capacity. How hard has it really been, you know, dealing with Dorian, dealing with Matthew, dealing with the COVID pandemic? How hard has it really been after all of these years?
Many times we went on the media circuit and spoke about it, but a lot of people didn't believe us because they think they couldn't fathom wherein you be out here from 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and when you leave, you barely have $30. And you have to pay mortgage, you have to pay light bill, you have to pay rent, you have to put kids in school, you have to put kids in college if they are abroad. So it was extremely difficult. And even as of this week, wherein we had so much activities up here, we still had it bad. But the thing about this is that we see hope. That's the beauty in this. We see a future. We see something coming. And not talking, but coming. And so that's the beauty in this.
I want to bring some of the ladies in here. You know, he spoke about how difficult it was. What are some of the things that you guys had to do in order to make it from day to day without this hotel?
Well, we had to sit down for hours and hours before we could make $1. But if you have that drive, you will not stop coming to work. Because this is your bread and butter, and this all we live off. You see?
And how confident, obviously the government has been talking for a while about getting a sale. And I see a lot of people now, they seem as if this is it. I know the last two sales, it was like, man, I ain't worrying with them, but you're sure this time.
Yes, because we was, I can say I had dope. But after I see he really mean, and I look in his eyes, and I see...
Whose eye?
The Prime Minister eye. What do you think? I want to be sure, because I be out here every day and out making $1. Some week I be out here the whole week or whole month before I make $1. But the end of the day come, those people looking for their rent. And when they give us a deadline till on the 15th, and after the 15th you want to pay that money, door closed. So it's very hard.
How happy are you for this to actually come to pass?
I am very happy and optimistic about our future there in the market. Very.
And what do you look forward to most when it comes to this new sale? Obviously, 3 new hotels to come, so that means there's dozens of people, and then obviously it's 1,700 jobs as well. How happy are you about that?
I'm very happy. I'm looking forward for money. Lots of money.
Yeah, plain and simple, right? Plain and simple. I want to bring you in here. You know, they talk about how difficult it is. What do you look forward to in the future when it comes to this project?
Just to be able to come out and make a living. Because we have kids, we have our family, we have rent, we have mortgages, we have bills. And most Grand Bahamians don't like to ask or beg. So this will give us the opportunity to come out here and make a living without asking anything.
No handouts. Yeah. And obviously, you know, you mentioned, you know, sometimes you wanted to give up. Was there ever any moments where you wanted to say, you know, forget it, let me get a 9 to 5? What really kept you with our Bahamian culture?
Your kids, your bills, keep you going. I love dealing with tourists. I like meeting new people every day, so that's why I come out. I sit down, I wait on my time, and God has been good to me.
All right, well, all the best to you guys. Yep, and I'm happy. So I like you guys are happy that this is it. This is it. This is it.
Michael Jackson said this is it, right?
This is it.
But he died, but we still alive.
Oh, no, man. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I said we still alive.
Yeah, that's so this really it. Well, there you have it. These residents, these vendors, like I said earlier, they depend on this hotel almost like a lifeline when it comes to Port Lucaya. Those are 3rd and 4th and 2nd generation vendors, straw vendors, who over these last 9 years have been working. She said that she struggled to even make $30 a day when some days they take home thousands when this hotel was around. And obviously they're very happy, and they said that this is it. They looked the Prime Minister in his eye, and they were confident, and they felt assurance, I should say, that this sale is final. So, you know, I'm happy. They're happy again. I'm going to send it back to you in studio, Clint.
Thank you, Devontae. It's so exciting to see Grand Bahamians happy again, right? And I think this is why I tell people we have to look beyond the politics of it, right? Because here it is, this community which has been down for so long, which has persevered for so long. And you said it. You're tired of hearing the word resilience attached to Grand Bahamians because, okay, yeah, you've been resilient. It's time now to flourish, right?
Absolutely.
And so people, again, are having renewed hope because there seems to be a glimmer of hope that it's going to turn around. After years of it being a struggle, it's going to turn around. Who could not want that for people? Who could not want that for people?
I'm shocked that there's anyone who may say that this is fake or this is something that is not happening, because the reality of it is anybody that wants to see this failed cares more about politics than they do about people.
You said it.
And that is a problem.
Nail on it. Nail on it.
When you talk to those vendors just now, like Devontae did, you could see that's the real deal.
Yeah.
It doesn't get no realer than that.
Yeah.
They're telling you about their struggles. People have sat out there 8, 9, 10 hours a day and carrying home $30, if $30. And they're doing that every single day. And when you hear what they have come from, the money that they used to make, what they have been experiencing over the last, like I said, decade, it is amazing. And so hope is the only thing we have And that's all we're holding on to in Grand Bahama. That's all we will continue to hold on to. And I don't have any room in my head for negativity. I don't have any space in my spirit for it. I can't have it. We've been down too long. So I'm happy about every single thing that's happening. I'm looking forward to every single thing that's happening, as I'm sure every Grand Bahamian who has experienced what we've experienced are feeling today.
There's a saying that says, he who feels it knows it.
Absolutely.
And that's why I often tell my colleagues in Nassau that, listen, before you can condemn or complain or criticize, you've not lived what the people on Grand Bahama have lived. You've not gone through it. You don't know what it is to stand on line for no water, for not have electricity for days. BP are going for an hour now, so everybody going crazy. Everybody calling when electricity come back on. You know why? Because we've not had to go down that road.
Absolutely.
And I don't think we probably could handle going down that road, right? But that's why I say, if you don't live it, don't knock it and don't criticize it, because you don't understand what the people who have lived it have gone through.
Absolutely.
And so what they are looking for is, let me hold on to this hope and believe that this is going to happen. And I believe that no government will want to make sure it doesn't happen, because they realize what it's done to the people before.
Yes.
And so what we need to do is stand behind, rally behind, and say, let this be, let it happen, let it go through, because our people deserve the relief of pain and struggle and be able to enjoy a season of prosperity.
Yes. And that is the reason I believe everything was done the way it was done today. Everything was so transparent. There was nothing off the table as far as we're concerned as the national broadcaster. We were in every single room. We had access to every single thing, and not only us, other media stations as well. So you can't say that this is just one media station covering. Everybody had access. Everybody had the opportunity to ask questions, and the questions were answered. And so that's what I took away from this today. That's what I'm most appreciative of. Nothing is hidden. So there's more questions, obviously, from this, but we're going to get those answers. But today we have hope, and that's all we've been waiting for. Something, a shimmer, a glimmer, something, and we have gotten that. And so I understand why the government has been tight-lipped about everything up until this point, because we've been asking, when is this coming? When is this coming? And they said we're not speaking until we are sure. And I think that was something intentional, because they did not want to give the people of Grand Bahama false hope again. But today, we've seen everything. It's been transparent. It's laid on the table. And nearly $1 billion.
Wow. That's a big investment.
Absolutely.
Jay Philippe has somebody standing by with him out in the square. Let's send it over to Jay Philippe. Go ahead, Jay.
It's been an amazing day and exciting day here in Grand Bahama. We're at the Port Lucaya Marketplace. Celebration ongoing in the back with the entertainers still celebrating. I have with me Alex Thompson, who's an ambassador for Grand Bahama, a well-known person. I know this heads of agreement assignment means so much for the island. For you personally, as a person that's involved with the community, the Grand Bahama, downtown development, what does it mean for Grand Bahama?
It means that all the hope that everyone has had, they finally see it coming to fruition. I look at things from a perspective of a whole. So we have to look at what it means for the entire island, and what it means, like we said, construction jobs. Not only do we see construction jobs, but we see engineers, and we see architects, and we see project managers coming in. So we see real estate, we see development, we see growth. That means Bahamians in real estate need to now invest. If they haven't invested, they need to invest. Then we also see Grand Bahamians coming home. They're talking about jobs that need to be filled. Carnival held a job fair, and they had over 1,000 people show up. That just goes to show you that Grand Bahamians want to come home. And we have a lot of Grand Bahamians that were abroad, not only in the U.S., but also on different islands, that came back and that is working at Carnival. So Carnival is just the beginning, and now we have this project, and we have Sixth Sense, and we have Coral Villas, and we have more announcements coming about different job opportunities. So it means wonderful things, because outside of the jobs, then you have persons being able to send their kids to school, persons being able to invest in the community. Persons who are working may decide to branch out and be an entrepreneur and start a new business. So this is a catalyst to the resurgence that we've been expecting for Grand Bahama.
You know, Alex, I would have moved to Grand Bahama in 2004. It's now 2025, which makes 21 years. I've endured
Which means
Hurricane.
you love it.
This is home for me. I've
Despite
endured
everything.
Hurricane Francis, Hurricane Jane, Hurricane Matthew, Hurricane Dorian, but I've never seen so much excitement on this island like what I've seen today. Very exciting.
Well, what happened is today is a culmination of what has happened over the last, I would say the last 6 to 12 months. And there has been talk for a long time, and people want it. And like I said, this is about the elevation of Grand Bahama as a whole. For those that haven't seen it as yet, go back, look at the reports, see the transformation that's going to happen at Port Lucaya. And this is an agreement that encompasses not just the Grand Lucaya and all of its hotels, but also the Port Lucaya marketplace. So the years back when we used to come out here and walk at the marina and look at the amazing yachts, that's coming back. And not just to see, but the development all around this area that's going to happen. And I think as a real estate agent and a business person in the community, I felt it for a while. And you know, we say we love Grand Bahama, and like you and other people who've moved here and stayed here, it's because there's something about Grand Bahama that keeps you. One, aside from the fact it's a beautiful, tranquil place, there's close proximity. If you want to hop on a plane to Nassau or hop on a plane to the U.S., you can. But what it has is you can feel the resilience of the people. There's something about being in a place where people are consistently hopeful, people consistently pushing, people consistently driving and elevating and encouraging each other, despite what it looks like. There's something about that resilient feeling that rises up like the phoenix, and I think that's what's happening with Grand Bahama right now.
Totally awesome. I see why you are an ambassador for Grand Bahama. Earlier today, I spoke with the owner of Rum Runners. I also spoke with one of the owners of Zorbas and also one of the other restaurants in the jewelry store. And they were so excited about the news of today. You mentioned it has an impact. What kind of impact the sale really has on Port Lucaya?
Well, of course, what that's going to have is a lot of people say, oh, that's, months out. Let's just look at the demolition, okay? Let's look at the demolition. All of the persons involved in that demolition are going to come over to Port Lucaya. I had an opportunity to speak with the CEO of the resort section of Wilshire, the company, and one of the things he said is he came over to Port Lucaya, he had an amazing lunch and dinner, and he thought they are going to prioritize making Port Lucaya part of that experience on the Grand Lucayan. And for him, the CEO of the resort department, to say that means they already want to incorporate all of Port Lucaya, the merchants, the marketplace, the straw vendors, all of them into this redevelopment project. But the people in Port Lucaya, they're excited, and they're excited because now they know and they see. Just hold on a little bit while longer. But all of those people that are coming in, for example, today, Port Lucaya was busy today. Busy not just with the people who came down for this event, but locals. The square has people in it. All the restaurants, all the bars out here tonight are full. People are eating and enjoying the night. I mean, why not celebrate? It doesn't matter what side of political fence that you're on. Why not celebrate something great for Grand Bahama? And I think that's why, in particular, Port Lucaya Marketplace and the vendors and the shop owners that are here are overjoyed.
Certainly, this heads of agreement signing today is going to mean a lot. It's going to have a trickle-down effect on Grand Bahama with Port Lucaya, with taxi drivers, with restaurants, with persons having an opportunity to return home to work. It's certainly a great day to be a Grand Bahamian, and we're looking forward to many more things happening here in Grand Bahama as it relates to the sale of the hotel and Port Lucaya. Back to you, Clint Watson in the studio.
Hi, thank you, Jay Philippe, reporting there. It's one message. It's one message. No, Grand Bahamians are just saying one message. No one's asking which side you support, who you behind. People just want this for the people of Grand Bahama. And I love what she said again, the fact that people want to come home.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is the message that, of course, the Minister of Grand Bahama has been preaching for a long time now. I mean, several months now, maybe from last year. It is time to look at avenues to come back home. It is time to get prepared. And that is the thing, that's what needs to happen next. We now need to prepare for what is coming because it is here, and now it's time to prepare. And that's all we've been asking for, and we have it.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk some more about this great announcement here on Grand Bahama. You're watching The Rundown live from Grand Bahama. We're back after this. Stay close.
Striping group of companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as the state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching our young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that can take them further in life.
Mailboat service is a critical service to the islands of the Bahamas. Certainly, Andrews has always been there and dear to us. That's where we're born and raised. And so we play a crucial role in advancing the growth and development of Andrews. Customers want service and they want consistency. From the start, that's been our commitment. We work to sail on time every time. Our customers have come now to expect this from us. And one of the biggest challenges we've had was finding adequate funding. SPDC from the very start has been a lifesaver. My advice to young people, if you have a vision, a passion, an idea, go for it. Don't give up. It's not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Be consistent and you'll get there.
Welcome back to the Rundown. We're coming to you live from Grand Lucayan Resort in Grand Bahama on a very big, significant day of announcement about this particular resort. We talk about how it's going to impact so many people throughout Grand Bahama, particularly across the way at Port Lucayan vendors. And our Raven Davis spoke to vendors. You heard some of them talk about it tonight, but there were more we spoke to on what this means to them. Let's take a look at that package.
The Grand Lucayan was open, my darling. We experienced mega amount of sales.
It's a far cry from how things once were. For vendors at the Port Lucayan Marketplace, the resort's closure marked the beginning of a long economic drought. But now, with redevelopment plans back on the table, some are daring to hope again. The Grand Lucayan, once a thriving hub for tourism, has sat in disrepair since Hurricane Matthew in 2016. For longtime vendors like Ernestine Markland, the downturn has been difficult to endure.
It's like going from 0 to 100 because you know what it is to go from once making sufficient funds that we were the ones who fueled our children's going to college and what have you without a problem, to being the ones who needed a handout from the government just to survive. So with the sale of the hotel, we will definitely see an improvement in not only our pocket, but the economy of Grand Bahama.
Her experience is echoed by veteran woodcarver Terrence McKenzie, who says he's had to pivot just to stay afloat.
I used to make money like sometimes $1,000 a week, sometimes $1,500 a week. Yeah, my breakfast would be like $100, my lunch would be $100. But now, it's a struggle now for me to make it, and I got to do wholesale. And that's how I survive,
And yet, optimism remains cautious. Failed deals with Royal Caribbean ITM Group and Electra America Hospitality left many disillusioned. But this time, these vendors say the energy feels different and there's no room for doubt.
God is so good and faithful that the Lucayan, yes, he's doing it again. I am so overwhelmed. And I thank God.
I am so appreciative that the sale of the hotel will go through. It means then that monies will return back to us, the vendors.
Now, with just hours to go before the anticipated signing, Nixon says she is hopeful that a reopened Grand Lucayan could also restore the once vibrant marketplace to its former glory, giving tourists a true taste of Bahamian culture.
There used to be the time when we used to have the Junkanoo rush outs. You used to have the Junkanoo man, Mr. Sanders, on the walkway, dressed in his Junkanoo uniform, speaking about the culture. And so I would like to see some of that happening again.
All right, our Raven Davis reporting there. It's been that kind of optimism. People want to see things turn around. They want to see a change. They want to see a new day, and that's not cliches or political. It's a new day meaning they want to see different. They want to see things succeed, and pretty much when that begins to happen, then people know that the turnaround is right around the corner and they can have some level of prosperity out there. And so it's beginning to happen. People are feeling it. You've heard some of the big players today who are part of this revolution and this revitalization. And so it's going to happen. We're going to wrap up things in a couple of minutes, but our guys are coming back in, and you can get Jay mic'd and get him over here. Get a chair, Jay, and join us once they have you mic'd. But Devontae Hanna is here, and obviously this is people are happy.
Yeah. What a day, first of all.
Yeah.
You know, we started this all at 1 o'clock for us, but the ceremony started at 2 o'clock. But from arriving here on Grand Bahama yesterday to now, you could feel the energy. You could feel where people have this sense of hope, you know, and Grand Bahama has dealt with a whole lot over the past 2 decades. And so now to see that this major injection is now coming into this economy, people are just happy.
Yeah.
You know, and they're happy to see the possibilities that can come because of this, you know. When you hear the story of Kurt Hollingsworth, you know, just connect, that's amazing, you know.
I was telling the total audience, you probably didn't hear, but I said that's the role of our diplomats away. Your job is to kind of make connections, better your island, make opportunities. He hit the nail on the head with this.
Definitely. And you know, when I sit back and I think about it, that's the possibility of what could happen. You never know what's going to be in these, in the casino. You never know what's going to be in these hotels. And you have our Bahamian artisans who will be putting their work on display. You have people in the restaurants. The possibilities are endless when you come to, when you think about developments so big, such as this one, which is just huge.
$1 billion,
and 3 hotels. I just was telling somebody today, I've never heard of a poolside casino.
It's gonna be the first.
And we're gonna be a little controversial. I didn't need to allow Bahamians to gamble. I would like to try it
in the casino.
I would like
to gamble now in the casino.
Right.
Oh boy.
But you know, it's and I don't mean to be, you know, facetious about it at all, but you know, it's just an amazing experience to be here, and it's simply just amazing to see all of this actually happen and actually play out.
All right, Jay Philippe, you're here. You're in Grand Bahama. We're visiting. How do you feel about what's about to unfold?
But I've been here for 21 years. I must say today is simply an amazing day. Clint and Devontae. While there's a lot of work to be done, this is just a good start. It's a good sign that things are going to happen. And I've been here for quite some time now. I haven't seen so much excitement throughout Grand Bahamians in such a long time. People are optimistic, and I'm talking about as far as the job opportunities that they create. The persons on this island for a long time have been saying there's no work. There's no job. Many persons in the hospitality field would have went to Bimini for work. The different keys, Castaway Key, Great Harbor Key, Cocoa Key. They would have left they would have left their island to go into these different family islands and keys for hospitality experiences. Now they are able to come back and be productive citizens here in Grand Bahama. I also saw in one of the articles where the government has agreed that at least 80% of the workers from this project will be Bahamians. And that's a big deal. We talked about Kirk Hollingsworth. He was a guy that was behind the scenes that made so much connections. And this is just a great day for so many Grand Bahamians. Me being in the hospitality field for a long time as well, to talk about the taxi drivers, which is going to create Port Lucaya. The amount of businesses that are going to reopen has been closed throughout the week. Throughout the weeks in Port Lucaya. In fact, the weekends are the popular days. But with this project coming on stream now, we can imagine the amount of opportunities it's going to create, not just for residents, but even the persons that are coming out of high school now that are graduating. 12th graders, the 11th graders are looking for career opportunities. We can start to teach back in schools now the importance of the different availabilities in hospitality tourism, operations, being a stewardess, being a front desk manager, being a front desk agent, being a tour operator. All of these opportunities are going to create so many opportunities for Grand Bahamians, and that's just truly exciting.
You know what I also think about the University of the Bahamas, their northern campus? You know, it's a hotel, but there's so many careers within hospitality, and you have students now now who don't have to go to UB Oaksfield to study. They could stay right at home. They could get a job at home. They could start working while they're in school and then build that as their career. And then even when you look at the hospital, Doctors Hospital is coming into play in the next few months. There's so much that is happening for Grand Bahama. I am not a Grand Bahamian, but I am Bahamian, and I am proud of what is happening here.
You can probably hear fireworks going on behind us. They're celebrating, but I'll tell you, it's a big day. We were here earlier this week doing site inspections, and Celebration Key staff, Carnival, had their orientation going on, and there were just scores of young people, young men who were in orientation. I said, wow, look at Grand Bahama. These people are all now employed. It's turning. It's turning, and as Bahamians, we ought to be proud tonight. And another big reason I am proud is because today could not have been possible without the amazing people of the Northern Service here at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. An amazing job today. I cannot be so much more prouder than my team and watching them execute this broadcast. We've been on the air, believe it or not, people, we've been on the air from 1:30 this afternoon, straight through. And it's the people of the Northern Service that turned out in full and demonstrated that they're professional, they're capable, and that they want to make sure we deliver a good product. And the Bahamas can be proud because of the Broadcasting Corporation tonight and the people of the Northern Service.
We may need to expand with what's happening with Grand Bahama.
You're not coming. You're not coming. No, you're not coming.
Hey, like the minister would have said, it's certainly a big deal. I live here.
You'd be great right now, sir. And now some people thank you for your support today as well to make this happen. We're the Broadcasting Corporation. One team, 2 locations, one team, but a great team. And that's why you're your nation's leader in news and information, and we are indeed ZNS. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better. This concludes our broadcast tonight. Don't forget the Bahamas Tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. We'll have another recap of what's going on today. But this ends our live broadcast from 1:30 today. I'm so grateful again. Thank you so much for making us your station for news and information. We are looking for greater days for Grand Bahama. Good night, everyone.